It looks like it's going to be a very popular session.
Oh, goodness. I don't want to hear that.
It must be
Don't
easier.
tell me.
It's just like, you've got two people you're chatting to. It's
There's
fine.
only 2 people in this whole session that I have to
Right.
talk to.
Right, yeah.
I'll just pretend.
Well, we might get started because we've got, a lot to get through. You've both got 40-minute sessions.
Yes.
Yes. So, Emily, you're going to be speaking first, and you're going to be talking about using keyword sign with going on a bear hunt. So you're a keyword sign presenter, and you're a senior speech and language therapy advisor for the Department of Education in Queensland.
Yes.
And you've worked as a speechie in state schools, and you're very passionate about helping schools and speechies develop their keyword sign knowledge and skills, and to put that into use in multimodal communication.
Yes.
So we're keen to hear about how you would tackle using keyword sign to work out how to go on a bear hunt. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. I will have a crack at it anyway.
And also just to know that this session is being recorded.
Yes, thank you.
So that if people don't want to be seen on the recording, then turn your cameras off. And that I will take questions. If we have time at the end, just put your hand up. Okay, over to you, Emily. Thank you.
I hope that I've timed this, that there should be some time at the end for questions. Or if I've gone too fast with teaching some of the signs, we can run through some of them again if you need to. Hello, everyone. As Karen said, I'm Emily. Just a quick note for you. My children are around. They are outside. My husband has taken them outside. However, they are still loud, so I apologise for the background noise there. If you're having trouble hearing me, please put your hand up, and I'll try and get them to pipe down a bit. But they're having fun, so that's the main thing. All right, everyone, I'm really pleased today to be bringing you going on a bear hunt. And we're going to have a good crack at having a sign. And I hope you'll read it with me and sign together with me. I will go through the signs though. First, just a quick. I'm going to share my screen, which worked well when I first did it, and we'll see if it works well a second time. By the way, I'm coming to you in sunny Queensland here. Sitting on the Redcliffe Peninsula, north of Brisbane, for any of you who know the geography there. I have clicked slideshow. Karen, I can only see your face. So could you give me a thumbs up if you can see that I'm in slideshow mode?
Yes, you are.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. So yes, that's the title slide, obviously. Hang on. This is not progressing. Good. Karen, thumbs up if we've gone on to the next slide.
Hang on. Let me just get onto the...
Yep. Acknowledgement of country.
Yes.
Lovely. Okay, so I would like to start acknowledging Australia's Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, the traditional custodians of the land, waterways and the skies in which we all meet today around the country and beyond, actually. I'd like to thank them for caring for and sharing the land that we play and learn on, and pay respects to elders past, present and future. I need to acknowledge our Darling Downs Southwest region, which is out Toowoomba Way, for designing this beautiful symbolised version of this very important message, which is becoming increasingly popular in North Coast region where I sit to use. All right, so why have I selected We're Going on a Bear Hunt? Apart from the fact it's just a great book, really. It's a repetitive book, so it's got great predictable rhythmic language within it that repeats throughout the book. The text is familiar. Oh, sorry, and just a note on that, sorry. Language and repetition in these repetitive books increase children's interest in the text and make it easier for them to remember important words and sentences, which provides us with lots of vocab modelling opportunities. And so we get to repeat the signs over and over again, which is fabulous. It's a familiar text used widely in most homes, early years and classroom settings. So most, if you've got children, most of you may have memorised this text. Indeed, my children have memorised the entire text and can read this book to me. It's got great vocabulary selection. I found it very easy to select keywords to use signs with. So there are quite a few signs that are already in the interactive vocab sets for keyword sign, and it lends itself beautifully to using lots of gesture and actions as well to tell the story. I'll go into this in more detail, but it does also offers a range of word types, which I guess makes it a high quality book too from a language perspective. So it by extending these different word types and vocabulary that we're using, it allows us to teach children a greater range of communication functions by increasing those word types available to them. Just a quick note on book sharing and book selection. I haven't hyperlinked these, but if we are sharing these slides, I will. These are just some search terms for you to type into your preferred browser. The sharing books with preschoolers, the Hannon Way, gives you some really nice tips on book sharing with young children. So in a nutshell, you don't have to read the book from front to back. Some kids aren't into that. My son certainly wasn't for a long time. So if you're familiar yourself with the book, you can plan some signs and gestures that you could use, and you can incorporate those when you talk about the book with your child instead of reading all of the text. In some classrooms, they call that a book walk, those sorts of things. A little tip, learning some WH question signs, so what, where, and who, might also help you to bring in that questioning function as well into your discussions about what you're seeing in the book. If you search in YouTube, there's lots of clips on shared book reading or conversational book reading as well, for those of you who don't want to read the text from front to back. Selecting books, your local library will, I'm sure, have great ideas for books to select, but my personal local library, the Moreton Bay Regional Council, has a lovely website, 50 books to read before you're 5, and it breaks it down into 10 books to read before you're 1, before you're 2, etc. And it's got some really lovely texts in there if you're looking for things. And also Speech Pathology Australia have a annual book of the year. Now, don't try and buy the winner for your child, because you won't be able to get your hands on it until the following year. It's always a very popular book for good reason. However, they do also have nominations for their books of the year. And they do those in age group as well as in Indigenous books as well for reading to our Indigenous kids too. And I always find that a really nice source, particularly of gifts to buy for children with Christmas coming up. Okay, the principles of keyword sign, and we will be adopting all of these today. We always speak when we sign, so we're primarily using keyword sign with hearing children. We are using our sign with grammatically correct sentences, but we may simplify our language or shorten our sentences a little bit. However, we're not saying where cow or anything like that. We're saying where is the cow. We are using grammatically correct sentences. Signing when we talk also helps us to slow our rate down. So if you're somebody like me who talks quickly and does need to slow their rate down, it's a really good way of doing it because you're thinking and signing and talking at the same time. We are only going to sign keywords when we use keyword signs, so we're avoiding the temptation to use all the signs we know, because some of the children we're working with may have some cognitive deficits or may take some time to process language and visual information. So we're not using large quantities of signs, and we're emphasising those keywords. We're also borrowing signs from Auslan to support communication, and I sat in on a really good session this morning about using those signs accurately and respectfully, because we are borrowing those from the deaf community. They're not our signs, they're just additional signs. Yeah, they're not our signs. Those are signs that we are borrowing. And we're using them to support communication, so our spoken language and also language comprehension. We're using sign, but we're also using gesture and actions and objects that sit in the child's environment. And when we're reading a story, we've got pictures to hand, which is really great. We're also adopting lots of non-verbal communication. So we're adopting the features that are borrowed from Auslan, which are facial expression and body language, are really important to add that extra information to our spoken language. The vocabulary that we sign needs to support a range of communication functions, so questions, comments, requests, refusal, protest, all of those great functions. So we're not just teaching and modelling nouns, because that just really lends itself to naming, and we don't want to restrict our children to that particular function, although it is important in some circumstances. So if you haven't accessed a keyword sign basics workshop to date, I would encourage you to do so, because it will give you all much more information about the principles of keyword sign, how it differs from Auslan, and how we can incorporate sign to create those great signing environments around our children. All right, just where to find signs. So this is where I found the signs that I'm going to use with you today. The Red Book, Getting Started with Keyword Sign, is my first port of call that and I always say to people, that's your first port of call. I've put the website in. That's a Scope website where you can find lots of keyword sign resources. And the Red Book contains your interactive vocab sets 1 and 2. If you're looking for signs additional to what's in the interactive vocab set, I will go to the Auslan Sign Dictionary. Just a couple of reminders, which were again reiterated in the session I did this morning. Always check the meaning of the sign that you're selecting. So you will find if you have a look at the clip I've taken there, you'll see in the top right hand corner there's a 1 and a 2. That means there's 2 signs for the sign that you've searched in the search bar. So you really need to read the sign definition section to ensure that you're picking the right sign, which has the right meaning for the context that you're using it in. And also making sure you're having a look at the little map of Australia down the bottom. So in the example I've clipped here, I'm not sure what word it is, sorry. I would not be using this sign because I live in Queensland. So these are signs not commonly used in my state, and I know that because it's in black and the others are in blue. So you're looking for some signs are used nationwide, and some are used in some states but not so much in others. So it's really important that you're being very conscious of ensuring you're picking out accurate signs to borrow. Some other resources that are available to you, lots of resources on the Keyword Sign Australia website, really great clips. There's a Sing, Sign and Sing nursery rhymes up there, which I love, and lots of great information about Keyword Sign. Keyword Sign Australia also has a YouTube channel, which is a lot of fun to have a look through. With Christmas coming up, lots of seasonal songs on there, lots of information, again, incorporating keyword sign into stories and songs as well, which is lovely if you're looking for other things. All right, so first step I think the first step when you're looking at incorporating keyword sign into a text or a book, I would picking out the keywords is really important. So you can see there that I've selected the keywords that I'm going to use today, and I've made them red. However, you might have a different view on what the keywords are in a particular sentence or text. So you'll see I've actually only highlighted go once because I wanted to keep some of the other sentences a little bit more simple and highlight the location concepts rather than using go. However, you might want to target go. So you might want that beautiful repetition to be in place. And the way up of whether I make this sentence more complex and use more signs in it is worth it to just keep modelling that sign go. If you have a look at the words that I have highlighted in red, you'll see that there's so many types of words in these, and this is the repetitive part of the text that I have pulled out. Those of you who are familiar with the book know that we read this one many times. So you'll see we've got verbs, we've got go and catch, we've got nouns, bear and day, we've got descriptors, big and beautiful, we've got a feeling in there, scared, we've got negatives, no and can't, and although I haven't highlighted can't, that's because I'm not going to use a sign with it. I'm going to use my body language. I'm going to be shaking my head to indicate can't. And we've also got great location concepts in there, over, under, through. We'll also do in over the course of the book as well. So if you really just sign and gesture this text alone, you've actually covered many grammatical types and communication functions. And if you want to just use actions, gesture, and the pictures in the book to make up the rest, you should do that. That's definitely encouraged. But if you're up for a challenge, there's some extra vocabulary that you can, again, borrow from Auslan if you want to. So I've picked out grass, river. We already know cold, so I've picked out cold and some of those other ones. The end of the book gets a little bit tricky because it's very text heavy and very event heavy as they run back through each of the things that they've already come through, and then they're going up the stairs and down the stairs and all that sort of thing. So I have mainly relied on gesture for that last bit because it's quite eventful. However, I am going to show you the sign for forgot because I really love that sign. Personal preference. And then we have obviously the ending. So I'm going to unshare my screen, and unfortunately, I don't have the text for you to read. Oh, here we are. Give me a thumbs up if you, I can only see you, Karen and Therese. So if you can give me a thumbs up if you can see me and the screen, lovely. Thank you so much. And the screen is gone. So we're going to run through the signs now, and I will run through all of them, but please don't feel overwhelmed. Please just stick with the repetitive text if you'd like to just stick with that. And if you're feeling brave, we can do the other vocabulary as well. But I would really encourage you to just start with the repetitive part of the text. For those of you who haven't done keyword sign for a little while, I'll just quick talk about handedness. So we have a dominant hand and a non-dominant hand when we're using keyword sign. I'm right-handed, so you will see me using my right hand as my dominant hand, my left as my non-dominant. If you're left-handed, your left is your dominant hand, right non-dominant. And if you are ambidextrous, which there are always some, you need to pick a hand and try and use that over time to see which one you feel more comfortable with as your consistent dominant hand and non-dominant hand, because otherwise, from my observations, people can get quite tricked up with trying to switch dominant hands and non-dominant hands. So that will take some time for you to learn. All right, so we've got handedness going, so that's all good. All right, so I'm going to take you through the vocabulary now that we're going to use in the book. I think time is going well, that's good. But if I'm going too fast, please put your hand up and you want to see another sign. Unfortunately, there's no chat function, so you can't whack a word in there, but we'll manage if you put your hand up, and I'll show you the sign. I'll just put that down a little bit so hopefully you can see what I'm signing. You don't need to see my head so much. All right, so the first sign is go. So this is an interactive vocabulary, and that is go. Awesome. And we speak when we sign, so hopefully you're all on mute and you can say go. Beautiful. And then we got bear, which was a new word for me. I had to look this one up. It's a little bit tricky, but you start with your non-dominant hand already crossed over your chest, and it's kind of like bear claws, but your hand's still flat and it's coming over your nose and down into your chest as well. So this is bear. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I have been doing this one, but this is teddy bear. We're not catching a teddy bear. Okay. All right. So this is bear. That's it. You guys have got it. All right. And then we do catch. Now I had to, you could do gesture for catch. We're going to catch a big one. I've used the sign more to highlight the fact that there is more than one sign for catch. And in this case, we're catching an animal and not a ball. So we will be using this sign for catch, because that is the sign for catch an animal, which is what we're doing in this case, which makes it really important to make sure you are reading the word definition on Auslan Sign Bank so that you're picking out the right word with the right meaning. All right, big, we're just going to use gestures for that. Big, it's a big bear, or however you want to do that, big bear, you know, whatever you like. Beautiful, we use the sign for beautiful, comes across our chin on the non-dominant side and into a good sign. Beautiful, because it's a good sign. All right, day comes down here, starts there with your dominant hand, and it just comes up to here. That's day. So any of you that know days of the week, day will be incorporated in that one. Not is no. So you can use no for not and shake your head as well. No, not, sorry. And scared. So not, I have decided to use not scared. You could also go not scared, okay, as an alternative. So scared, it's hard to see the movement unless I turn sideways. Scared is the same position for more, but the movement is different. So you're going to move it a few times. Scared, all right? But in this case, we're not going to look scared because we're not scared, sorry, we're brave, okay? As I said, I'm using head shaking for can't, so we can't go, but we'll do over. Over is this one with your dominant hand goes over your non-dominant hand. It's very visual. Under is the opposite, so we're going under your non-dominant hand, sorry. Under, lovely. And through is tricky. I had to look up through, but it's be gentle. You'll hurt your hand. So through goes through your middle finger and your ring finger. Through. That's a tricky one. Through. Yeah, be gentle with that one because you'll hurt your webbing if you've got long nails. All right. So that's the basic repetitive text. I'll take you through the extra stuff now. So grass. Again, there are two word signs. Sorry, for grass. On Auslan Sign Bank, I have selected this one. Sorry, I'm sorry. The hand is flat for this one. Sorry, this is grass. Okay, and this is sort of more like the long, wavy, swishy grass that we need for this story, okay? And then we've got river, which is a very visual one. A river, okay, that's a lovely one. I've picked out cold because that's already part of our interactive vocab, cold, so it's a cold river. And then we've got mud. Now, if you search Sign Bank for mud, there is no sign for mud. However, I have selected dirty, the sign for dirt or dirty, which is the sign you would use if something was going to stain your clothes or something like that. And mud's pretty yucky and stainy, so I have picked this one, mud. Okay, and you can make a really yucky facial expression because I don't like mud very much, but some kids do. Okay, and then forest is again done on here. This is forest. Hopefully you can see that okay. It goes from, both of the grass and the forest go from elbow to wrist down. Forest. So you can see these are the trees. It's, again, such a visual sign. For snowstorm, I've selected snow from Auslan Sign Bank because there is no snowstorm. So this is snow, but I've chucked this in as a swirling, whirling snowstorm. So you could even just use gesture, swirling, whirling snowstorm, and that's totally fine. Cave, there is no sign for cave, and we're not going to finger spell it because we don't typically use finger spelling in keyword sign. So I'm just miming cave, which is what you would revert to if you can't remember a sign or you can't find a sign or you just need one on the spot and it's just not coming. You would use gesture or mime, that sort of thing. What's that? When we get in the cave, this is the sign for what, so we're waggling that with our dominant hand at shoulder height. What? For one wet nose, big eye, big goggly eyes, that sort of thing, I'm just using my body parts. So it's gesture, so nose, eyes, ears, not in that order. Quick, because we're going to go back through everything quick. All right, so we've got our non-dominant hand and we're flicking off with our dominant hand. And my favourite sign, you don't have to use this one, but I do because I forget a lot of things. It's forgot. So it's a cognitive verb and it's going to come off your head like that. I forgot, okay? And the rest of the book, we're going to use mime. I'm going to use fall for stumble trip. Okay, there is a sign on Auslan Sign Bank for trip, but I don't like it. It's not very visual, so I'm going to use fall because I'm in charge here. Okay. All right, so let's read the story together. Now, I'm sorry, I have a very small, well-worn, not well-repaired book that I'm going to use here, so you won't be able to see the text. I apologise. If I was in a classroom, I would be a teacher and I would have this book up on a nice stand and all the kids would be able to see it. If I was a parent or a carer or a teacher aide or teacher working with a small group of children, I would have this book sitting perhaps on a table where everyone could see it, but they could also see my signs as well. My son, I practiced this with my 3-year-old son, and he was like right up at the pictures. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm signing at you. He's like, no, I want to look at the pictures. And I'm like, that's okay. And eventually he actually drew his attention away from the book and started looking at me too. So just keep signing, even though nobody's really paying attention to you. Okay. Yeah, okay, so let's start. We're going on a bear hunt. And please sign with me because that's super fun. All right, we're going on a bear hunt. Okay, so I'll try and get everything in the picture. All right, we're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh. Grass. Long, wavy grass. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. I'm loving watching you guys reading this. Turn your videos on if you want to, if you feel brave. All right. Swishy, swashy, swishy, swashy, swishy, swashy. Thanks, Callie. Hello. All right. And repeating again, we're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh, a river, a deep, cold river. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. Splash, splosh, splash, splosh, splash, splosh. Make up your own actions there. That's not a sign I'm teaching you. All right, next one. We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh. Mud. Thick, oozy mud. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. Squelch, 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 squelch. Love your facial expressions. Thanks, everyone. Awesome. All right, we're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Oh, that's what I've been doing. Doesn't matter. A forest. A big, dark forest. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. And this is where I'm using the sign for fall. Stumble, trip, stumble, trip, stumble, trip. What's next? We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh, a snowstorm. A swirling, whirling snowstorm. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. And hoo, woo, hoo, woo, hoo, woo, because that's what a snowstorm sounds like, right? We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh, a cave, a narrow, gloomy cave. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. What's that? One shiny wet nose, two big furry ears, two big goggly eyes. It's a bear. Quick. Okay, this is going to be tricky. I've got to watch the text here. Back through the cave. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. Back through the snowstorm. Woo, 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 woo. Back through the forest. Stumble trip. Back through the mud. Squelch, squelch, squelch. Back through the river. Splash, splosh, splash, splosh, splash, splosh. Back through the grass. Swishy, swashy, swishy, swashy. All right, here comes the hard part. Get to our front door. Open the front door. Up the stairs. Oh no, we forgot to shut the door. Quick, back downstairs. Shut the door. Back upstairs. I forgot to show the sign for in. I'm just using that. Into the bedroom. Into bed. Under the covers. We're not going on a bear hunt again.
They don't shut down.
All right. And that would be the end of the story. However, if you're my children, this page is also up for discussion. So the children, if your children have seen the animated version of this book, the bear is lonely and he just wanted to find some friends. So the discussion would go something like, in our house, something like this. Oh, poor bear. Wanted to find friends to play with. So you might like to have a conversation with your kids about why is the bear chasing everybody, which is great fun. Thank you so very much, everybody. That went a little bit faster than I planned, so I hope I didn't go too fast. I'm sorry, but you all seem to keep up, those of you who are in the video, and it was really great fun. If you've
And it
got
also
any
leaves us
questions,
time.
oh, sorry, Karen.
It leaves us time for some questions if people have
That's
questions.
right. It does.
But one of my questions is,
Yes, Karen.
with the sign for through,
Yes.
is your thumb up or
Yes.
down?
On the Auslan sign bank, your thumb is up. I did double check that. Yes.
Okay.
And their fingers are spread out as well. I don't know if that's just because the person doing the sign, that's just how their fingers went. But yeah, so that's it. Thumb is up. That's right.
If people do have questions, if they can raise their hand, and then we can, or any comments about whether they've also used Going on a Bear Hunt, which is
I'd love to hear if you've been using sign with any other stories and found that to be fun as well.
And also the decision making around which are the important keyword signs to use in that text, because you made a set of decisions based on what the needs were of your audience.
Yeah.
And I want to hear whether other people also adapt according to that. So if anyone has any questions, just looking. Yes.
Jennifer has a question.
Jennifer Goodman, yes.
It's not a question, but I just wanted to say I really enjoyed that little book. And you didn't go too fast. It was awesome. I did learn beautiful like this, just like beautiful, but I just learned something new, that it actually goes into like the good handshake.
Yes, I've had it as that. Which state are you in though? It might be a, is it
I'm
a
in New South Wales.
Okay, so it could be the same as Queensland.
She hasn't.
You probably, Jennifer, good to check I didn't check for variations on beautiful because I've always learnt it as that. I think there are variations on beautiful. So if you go on the Auslan sign bank, you should be able to see what the different variations are, and there may actually be one that's more common in New South Wales.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good comment. Thank you.
And the Auslan sign bank is the, the final decision maker. If you're not sure.
Yes. If it's on there, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Any other questions?
So she can stack them for 5 days the first week. And then have that whole time off.
Well, I wanted to finish by just, if there's no more questions or comments, but please add any if there are. I just wanted to encourage you all to access those resources on the Keyword Sign Australia website, because it will give you more ideas for the story.
He said he's going to go to work.
On the Keyword Sign Australia website,
Really the fact that he doesn't want to take any more time off.
there is general membership available as well.
Okay, I just need to remind people
please keep your...
be on mute. If they're not on mute, please put yourself on mute.
That's better. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yes, that's better.
And I challenge you to have a go with this. Just start by, start small. If you building your confidence with using keyword sign in front of the kids that you're working with, or your own kids that you're looking after or caring for, just use a couple of signs. Like just use the location concepts, learn those and use those, because that's such an important part of this particular text. And what you'll find is, even if you go then and do a story about, and move on to say the Very Cranky Bear series, because now you all know the word for bear, you'll find that there is a lot of text in those books. They're amazing, but there is a lot of text. So you'll be wanting to just pick out those really key words that you need. Say if it's the animals, or some of the items that they're using, that sort of thing. And just pick those out, and just use gesture and actions and fun for the rest of it, which I know you're all really great at doing. So yeah.
Are there any other book titles that you found particularly good to use with signing that you could recommend?
Yeah, the Very Hungry Caterpillar is a good one, because it's quite basic, always appropriate for most age groups. They're into it, and it's but it's the amount of fringe vocab as well. So it's got the food. So you would have to probably look up the food, or use the pictures, or put some symbols up, or something like that. So it doesn't all have to be done with keyword sign. You can go a bit multimodal with it, but if you do just want to focus on keyword sign, you could do that. So that's a good one. I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. I did ask one of my speechy colleagues which would be good books for me to use for this session. Going on a Bear Hunt was on her list, as well as mine. And the Very Cranky Bear series are very thoroughly used across, say, Prep Year 1 in Queensland anyway. So they are really good ones to use, and you can talk through feelings and all sorts of things with those, which are really fun.
And I think Spot
Spot.
often.
Yes, I think somebody did wear Spot before my session. So those books, and there's so many of them, are all really fun to do too. Yeah. Because you can work on those great questions as well. You can focus on where. Yes. Sorry, folks, I talked a little bit faster than I need to.
That's okay. It's just that we can't,
session.
because of recording, we can't start the next session.
Can't start the next session.
Sure.
So we'll just talk to everybody. While we're waiting, I'll see if I can find my list of books that my speechy colleagues sent me. Here they are. Right here. There we go. Oh, of course. Where is the Green Sheep is a great one.
Yes, a classic.
Yes, classic. You know, just as good as Where's Spot, if not better. So you've got lots of great location concepts and not a huge amount of text. So it is a good one to be starting off with while you're, you know, getting more comfortable using sign yourself. Edward the Emu is a good repetitive text.
Oh, okay.
Lots of actions in that one. And the Pig the Pug books as well. They have short text, they're funny, and they've got emotions and other concepts in there that you want to be reinforcing with your little people there. There we go. I found it.
Okay. Well,
thank you so much, everyone. That was great fun.
Yes. Okay. Well, I guess it's going to be an editing issue then for the
Yeah. I hope they do edit out the finish. Yes.
So if we can then move on to hearing from Tracey.
Yeah, hi. I'm down here. I don't know where I am on that.
Up there somehow. So we need Ish.
Yeah, I've just pinned you, Tracey.
Okay, excellent.
You Karen are at the front now.
Okay, so am I fine? Can everyone see me?
Thank you so much, Emily. No, not yet.
Not yet. That's cool. Emily, that was great. Thank you. Especially because your PowerPoint, which I'm hoping are you going to share? Yeah. Oh, good.
Yes, very happy to do that, and I'll hyperlink. I will put the hyperlinks in there as well for those websites.
Excellent, because I'm not going to cover everything you just did because you covered it so well.
And I think that background information is important information to have. So I just want to introduce you, Tracey.
Yeah.
Because you've got an interesting background. You said you used to be a history and geography teacher.
Yes.
And you were teaching at a high school until you had your two children, Jade and Callum.
Yes.
So when you went back to teaching, you then transitioned out of history and geography into special education.
Yes.
So was there a particular interest in keyword sign, or you just happenstance you ended up in special ed and just learned to love it?
Exactly. I didn't even know anything about special education. I just had a job opportunity for someone who said, look, I think you'd really suit this. And I was getting back into the workforce and I loved it from the word go. So I didn't leave it. And then I started Keyword Sign. They were using it at our school to support communication. That is the beautiful thing about Keyword Sign, is how it supports verbal and non-verbal students. And when I say verbal students, those who still struggle with their communication, but if you're doing a keyword sign with them at the same time as they're talking, their language improves. And so we just found that a lot. And I was mentioned in my presentation earlier that the teacher next door to me used to run Keyword Sign, Sign Inquire, and she went on maternity leave, and so someone had to take over, and that ended up being me. And so I actually come from passion rather than being a presenter or being a expert in the field. And so for that reason, I actually want to encourage all the people who are on here not to be afraid to try it.
Okay, so your talk this afternoon then is on using your presentation today is on using keyword sign to sing I Still Call Australia Home.
Yes.
And you've taught this song for your choir at the school to perform.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, we have.
And so now we get the chance to learn the same learn the same skills.
You will, but you're not going to be as good as them. Because they're amazing. They're absolutely gorgeous. So,
all right. Well, I look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, that's fine. So, first of all, thank you, Emily. I'm not going to go over what Emily did in her presentation because what you covered was absolutely amazing. I want you to remember, though, from Emily's presentation that she talked about that we're doing keyword sign, meaning that we're going to select the signs in the various lines of the song that we feel are the keywords or the important words that we want to choose. And what makes it an important word to me may be different to what makes it important to you. So my kids, my students might be learning particular signs and I might emphasize them in my song. And other times they might be learning other signs. So that is sometimes the decision maker for why I choose particular signs in songs. So we need to keep that in mind. The signs that I choose for this song aren't necessarily the ones that you would choose, and that's okay. The signs, and as Emily also pointed out, when I go onto Sign Bank, there's a number of signs that I could choose. And we're going to look at that for a couple of signs today. And I need to make a decision about, well, which one am I going to choose? Am I going to choose this one or that one, this one? And it could be based on the ones that my students are familiar with. It could be based on the simple fact that they can sign heart easier than they can sign something else. It might be based on that they're familiar with that sign already because we've done it in other songs. So again, keyword sign in singing is all about making it yours, making it for the kids. And I think that's why it's so popular for our kids and our students, because they love it. It's achievable, they can do it, and they're so proud of themselves once they're performing. There is no better feeling for these students than putting on their signing choir purple t-shirt, to getting in front of everyone, doing their best. And some of them, their best is standing there swaying, and some of them, their best is, you know, 3 signs behind somebody else, and some of them, their best is perfection, because that's what they have to do. And in fact, if one of my students was on here, he'd be correcting me the whole time. And the funny thing is that most of the time he would be right and I would be wrong. And I'd be like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. Oh, what have I done? What's that sign again? And they'll be going, Miss. So I guess if you get nothing out of today, it is just try. Keep trying and keep doing it again and again and again, and it's okay. I look back over my past videos and I think, oh, sugar, I've got to redo that. They're so bad. So let's get started. Okay, so as Emily mentioned, you have a dominant hand for signing. So normally that's the one you write with. So I would absolutely love you all to put on your video. I've actually, if you see me looking that way, it's because I've got a big screen here, which at the moment I can only see 4 of you. So, oh, good, there's a couple more coming on. So if you want to put on your video, because I'm actually going to check you all and your hand signs and see what you're doing. And this is how I run Signing Choir, because with lockdown the past few weeks, I've had to do it over Zoom. So I'm also a bit new at this Microsoft Teams. So let's hope, we're really hoping, really praying that today the technology works. So put on your video, keep your sound off. Okay, so hand up for dominant sign. And my kids, sometimes they forget. Jennifer, I love how you have a scrunchie on your hand. That is something I need to do to remind me this is the hand I'm using. especially when you're in front of a choir. One of my hardest things is I will be watching the other kids and I will make the mistake they're making, or I will use the hand they're making, like mirror. And again, my theory, I'm trying. It's okay. Okay, so yeah, as I said, it's okay. Marsha will correct me. Okay, so you've got your dominant hand. Okay, so the first line of this song is, I've been to cities. So in that phrase, I would use the word I, because that is a common keyword sign. So you're just going to get your pointer finger and you're going to point to yourself, I. And I can see you all doing that really well. Well done. Okay, now the word for cities, you're going to get 2 pointer fingers. And it's like the top of the buildings, and they're going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. And I can see you doing that really well. Okay, well done. So that's really easy. First line, I've been to cities. Now the word for never, because I felt that that was important, I want you to clench your non-dominant hand. Okay, clench it as a fist, flat hand for your dominant, and you kind of slice it. Never. That's it. That never close down. Now, some of you might, I can see a couple of you signing. For those of you who know, what do you think you do for close down? There's 3 different versions. Okay, well done. Teresa's done close the door and pointing down. Karen did that too. Well done. Okay, so that is one of the choices you could make. You could close the door and do the word down. If you were trying to teach the word down to some of your kids, you might want to do that. But we actually chose a different sign, okay, because when you close down at the end of a business day, it's actually 2 flat hands going to a circle and down. 2 flat hands, and we go down. In Auslan Sign Bank they don't, but I need some kind of down action there for my kids. So it's 2 flat hands around in a circle and down. So that is actually the sign for closing a store or closing a business at the end of the day, which is a bit different to if we're just going to go down. Okay, and that's why I chose that sign, close down. So let's do that whole sentence. I've been to cities that never close down. Okay, now we're about to come to 3 cities. They're New York, Rio, and London. Now in my signing video, I just simply chose to do the first letters. Okay, London, New York, N, which is 2 fingers on a flat hand. New York, I've got my open hand with my thumb extended and I'm just going to do a Y. New York, Rio, a crooked R on a flat hand, Rio, or London is 1 finger on an open hand. However, as you can see, sometimes, as Emily pointed out as well, we don't tend to do finger spelling and keyword sign. Okay, but I only do that because it was a bit, you'll understand why in a minute. Well, I'm going to show you, so I'll come back. Keep that in your head. I'm going to come back. Okay, I'm going to show you the sign for New York. Now, this sign here, 1 thumb up, little finger up, is actually the American Y, because they do one-handed. Okay, so New York, flat non-dominant hand, and New York has 2 symbols, so back and forth. Okay, New York. Okay, that is the sign for New York. So that's an understandable sign for New York, a Y, New York, 2 symbols. Okay, now this is the funniest sign I've ever seen. What would you sign? What would you think? Think of your natural gestures, think of anything for London. What could it be? Well, okay, Joanne, I really like that, like a London Tower. I think it was like Big Ben or something like that.
Crown.
Yeah, oh, the crown of the Queen. That would be more logical than the sign they've actually chosen. Okay, so I'd go with that sign, the crown of the Queen for London. Does anyone else want to take a guess? Because if you get it right, you can send me your address and I'd send you a big block of caramel chocolate, which is the other way I bribe my kids, by the way. Okay. Anyone else want to take a guess at what could be for London? Oh, no one's game enough. Okay, now the sign for London reminds me of crazy. So obviously the people in London are crazy because that is the sign for London. So back in the day, London was crazy. I know. Where I got that is there is asphyxia is an Auslan very good signer, and she actually has on YouTube learning Auslan cities and weather, and that's where I got it from. So you can imagine that if I'm in signing choir and I say to my kids, we're going to London, they're actually going to think I'm crazy. Okay, so that is the reason I chose to simply keep with the finger spelling. Okay, so now you understand, and now you all know that the London people are crazy, officially. Okay, so from New York to London, an old city town, but no matter how far. So the word for matter not, I want you to get your flat hand, thumb extended. You're going to put it on the side of your cheek. You're going to bring it down and do a finish sign. No matter not, so matter not. So it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. Well done. I'm going to go back to the big screen so I can see you all. Well done. Excellent. No matter what, how far, you're going to get your gun finger, your gun shape, and it's going to go from your hip and come forward. That's the sign for how far. How far I roam. So I chose the word roam. Now this has been a bit difficult for some of our kids because they're going to have to cross the midline. So I'm going to see how difficult it is for you guys. 2 fingers up. You start up there, standing up right near your chin. That's excellent. That's our starting position. Oh, except we're going to turn it that way. Sorry. We're going to turn it that way. And they're going to come down and do a figure 8. So they're going to go down, over, and up. Okay? So that's actually really good. I sometimes get the kids to practice that for a long time because it's actually crossing their midline. And crossing their midline actually helps get their communication and their brain using left and right. So I'm like, let's practice this for a while, kids. Very good. Okay, you're doing good. You've now got your brains working. Well done. So how far I roam, and it's I still call Australia. Now, instead of the word call, which I could do a natural gesture and go, hey, you, come here, ooh, calling, we decided that the word call in that context actually means name. So to do the hand signal, the keyword sign for name, is that your duck hand? Okay, I call it my duck hand. I do not call any of the hand shapes by the proper name. I just tell the kids, get your duck hand out. Okay, so, and then I say to them, salute. So duck hand and salute. So I'm really sorry, keyword sign may sack me after this because of all the abbreviated names that I've given for my kids, but it's what helps them remember. Okay, I still call Australia. Now, we pick up with our middle fingers and drop it in front. I still call Australia, and home in keyword sign is over the hill. I think they were watching the little ducks going over the hill when they decided on that sign. Okay, I still call Australia home. The next line is I'm always traveling, and so I decided traveling was the key word in that sign. So 2 gun fingers, that's it. Flatten them, and then they go back and forth. I'm always traveling. You guys are really good. Maybe you are up there with my signing choir. I'm always traveling. I love. Okay, now there's 5 signs on Auslan key sign on the Auslan sign bank for love. So I'm actually going to screen share so that you can see how I choose. Oh, have I lost you? No. Okay, so I'm going to go back to screen share. Okay, I'm going to share my window, except I don't know which one it is. Okay, group music, hold it. I'm going to open it up first so I can work out which one I'm screen sharing because I've got 6 screen shares open. Okay, so I'm going to go to, this is not going to work. Okay, here it is. Okay, so you can see my screen share, and I'm going to type in the word love. Okay, and I'm going to go, I'm going to type it in again. And can you still hear me?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, I've typed in the word love, and you can see here there's 5 options. So the first one here I've looked at, they're very slow, is the I love you sign. I'm not going to repeat that. Okay, the second sign, when he does it, is kiss lips. Well, I don't want to do that for kissing lips for my sign for I love Australia. I'm not going to kiss Australia. The third sign is the one I chose because that, if I have a look at the definition, it's a person's happiness, which is important, a strong like for something. So I decided to go with that one. But I'll check out the other 2 just in case. Well, it's not my heart beating. And number 5, it's I'm not in a romantic relationship with Australia. Okay, so you can see why I ended up choosing. Okay, why I ended up choosing. Okay, I need to go off spot. How do I turn that screen share off again? Stop sharing. Okay, there I am back on. Good. That's the first time I've been able to do that successfully in Microsoft Teams. I'm used to doing this in Zoom. Yes, big round of applause for me. Thank you. Okay, but can you see from that example of Auslan Sign Bank why I chose number 3? Okay, I wasn't going to choose the others, and that is what I wanted to use that as a really good example of how to make your sign selections. Okay, so I decided on number 3. I love being free. So I want you to get your flat hands, thumbs up, down here, and you're going to tap on your chest, left and right, really gently. Otherwise, you're going to hurt yourself. Okay, I love being free. So 2 hands tapping at the same time, lightly on your chest, free. Okay, that's the word for free. So I love being free. And the next line is, and so I keep leaving. The sign for leave is the same as go. So I keep leaving, go. The sun, it looks like the sun. I like that sign. The kids remember it. And you should know, I think Emily did this in going on a bear hunt, like the sea, except instead of, we did grass, okay, but the sea, it's the waves. So your fingers are spread out. it goes from your elbow to your fingertips. And I do naturally where I go like this, but in Auslan Sign Bank, the fingers are pointing forward. Okay, but I do find my kids find that sign a bit hard, so anything works. Okay, over the sun and the sea. But my heart, okay, so my kids just decided they're going to draw their heart on. But my heart, you could do this, but my kids said, no, we want to do this. But my heart lies waiting. And this is a very good natural gesture sign as well. Just wait, wait. Okay, my heart lies waiting over the phone. Again, I looked at keyword sign and I went, well, what could I use? And the foam, the word we came up with was beach, where the water meets the sand. And so it's the water meeting the sand. Okay, which is actually the sign for beach. My heart lies waiting over the phone. I still name call Australia. So you get your middle finger and drop it forward. Australia, home. Okay, well done. So that's the first verse finished. So we're actually going to practice doing the first verse before we go on. Okay, so I'm going to put this up. I'm going to screen share. Now, this is where we worked really hard, including this computer sound. Screen share. Oh, no, I don't want to screen share that way. Okay, let's try again. It did take a while to work this out. I haven't been given, okay, I haven't been given, no. I haven't been given the option where it has side by side. Does,
Can you
are you giving that to me now? Sorry.
I'm not sure.
Not too sure?
So did you want to be right next to your screen? Is that what
Yes, so what happens is I need to have the side by side in the window. Okay.
How about if you start sharing, maybe there's an option next to that?
Yep, no, there isn't. Okay. We worked this out the other day and I went, if I can't do it, I'm in trouble. Oh, got it. Okay, I had to turn off my other screen. I can't see you guys big anymore. I'm sorry, but that's going to have to do. Okay, so we're going side by side. So you'll see the music and you'll see me. Side by side with the window of music. Okay. Can you see me as well?
I'm just seeing.
Okay, can you see me as well as the music?
Yeah.
No, at the moment I'm just seeing Tracey.
Oh, I can, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've been to cities that never closed down, from New York to Rio and old London town. But no matter how far or how wide I roam, I still call Australia home.
Okay, now I really had no idea then what you could see. Could you hear the music? Yep, excellent, good. Okay, could you see me signing? Yep, Karen couldn't. Okay. Okay, as long as you could see both. Unfortunately, because it wasn't allowing me to have on my second computer, I couldn't see you guys signing. I couldn't see me either. So that was a real pain. Okay. But okay, did you all follow along with that? Yeah, pretty easy. Good. Excellent. So we're going to go on to all the next verse, the second verse. So we're going to start with our dominant hand, that handshake, and we're going to go from our dominant side and coming around in a circle for all. So it goes all the sons and daughters. So for that, we decided to do children. So we start up and they get smaller and smaller and smaller, depending on how many kids you have. I only have 2. My sister has 5. My auntie has 10. Okay, so she'll be going down for a long time. Okay, so all the sons and daughters, and the word is spinning. Okay, so we're going to get our non-dominant hand finger up and we're going to spin around. Spinning around the world. And so world is just a circle around the world. Spinning around the world, away is the same as go. So it's our flat hand and just flick it. Away from their families. So I want you to get your 2 fingers on both hands. You're going to start close into your chest with your hands forward, and you're going to come around into a circle. So it's like your family is eternal. They keep going on and around in a circle. I love that sign for family. So our family and friends. Now, friends, I'd like you to get your non-dominant hand in a fist, and I want you to hug it with your dominant hands. And keep that thumb down and shake. So that's friends, all our family and friends. But as the world, so it's world, we know that sign already, as the world gets old. So I tend to wrinkle my head and the kids go, Miss, you've got lots of wrinkles. And I go, I know. So I wrinkle my head and I 2 fingers, crooked them in and down my nose. Older. Now, one important thing with keyword sign is look at your facial expressions, okay? Believe me, I'm going to wrinkle as much as I can for the sign of old, okay? Older and cold, okay? I'm not going to be cold like this. I'm going to be really cold and shaking. So older and colder. And that's one of the most important things when you're singing as well, is that your facial expression is one of the most important things that you can do when you're singing, especially when you're doing keyword sign, because you need to associate what your whole body language, your face, with what actions you're doing. As a word, it's good. So you all know the sign for it's good. It's good to know, and we can just keep that hand gesture and tap your template twice. 1, 2. It's good to know where your journey ends. Now, we decided for that sign that we would do destiny. So this is where I want to go with my pointed non-dominant hand finger. I'm going to go in my car and I'm going to take a journey and I'm going to get there. Okay, so that's how I taught my students. This is me and I want to get there. So that's my destination or my journey. Someday we'll all be together. So the signs I chose in that line, I thought, what's the most important thing in that line? Someday we'll all be together. I think it is that I want all of us to be together. So my 2 important words is that we're all, we together. So the sign I'm doing for we is I actually did with 2 hands. So I want you to point 2 pointed fingers, cross them over and all of us. We. Some people only do it with one, but in sign inquire, I want to make my gestures big. So you'll often see me sign with 2 hands, okay? No rhyme or reason, it's just emphasizing what I'm saying. So I want all of us to come together. Bring us in together, okay? Perfect. So yes, normally my fingers are up, okay, for together. Together, and it says once more, but that means again. So your 2 fingers and shake them. Again has 2 syllables, 1, 2, again. When, oh, keyword, I've been trying to learn who, what, when and where. So I'm going to sign when, not because it's an important word in that line, but I'm practicing all my work. So when, I'm going to get my 4 fingers, spread them apart, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 on my 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, as quick as I can. That's it. So when all of our ships, and I'm just going to do a ship, and they're going to come back. Now, normally when I tell the kids to come here, I might do this, come. I might do 1 finger, but this is the word come back. So to come back, I actually have to run away, and then I've got to come back. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to get your pointed finger, you're going to run away, and then I'm going to say come back. Okay, and that is actually the keyword sign for it, to come back. Okay, this is come or come, natural gesture, but come back, you've got to go away before you come back. Okay, so we're going to come back to Australia. You're going to come back to the shore. So you're coming back to Australia. Rather than saying come back to the beach or the beach, you're going to come back to Australia. I realise, so pointed finger, I want it to salute from your template, and then you're going to twist it forward. I realise, because I understand. I understand something I know. So we've already learnt those 2 signs. I realise something I know. I still name, my duck hand, name. I still call Australia home. Okay, and then the chorus is repeated again and again and again. Okay, so this is, how do you think you guys are going on that? Good, shaky. Do you know what? That's perfectly fine. What I want you to know is I've just taught you this sign. I've just taught you the whole song in about 20 minutes. Normally what I would do is teach 1 verse before they all start yawning, and I can see some of you already yawning, the joys of camera, but that's okay. I would be too. I've been up very early. So I'd normally teach 1 verse, and then I'd go to one of their favourite songs. Then I'd come back and do the verse again, and I might do little games like, okay, everyone do the sign for home. And everyone has, well done. Joanne's the winner there. Jennifer came in second. You can come up and get one of those caramel chocolates I chose. And then I'll go, okay, who can do the sign for Australia? Oh, Joanne's beating you all, guys. You've got to wake up. Marianne came in second to that one. Okay, what about the word no? Oh, Lynette came in. Well done. Okay, can you remember London? I bet you can. I know, those crazy people, or the sign L. Well done. And so I'd do something like that. I'd come in and I'd just do a quick game to go over some of those keyword signs. I'd have them stand up. Yes, I do bribe with chocolates and lollies. Of course, I have a stash in my top drawer. Okay, or merit certificates or stickers or anything like that to say well done. Then we'd try again. So I'm sorry, you guys are getting the very fast version without the chocolates, without the games. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to screen share. Can someone please yell and scream at me if you can't see me and if you can't hear? Because unfortunately, when I screen share this way, I can't see anything. Okay, so I'm going here. I'm going side by side mode. I'm going here, and this is just nuts. Okay. Oh, wrong one. No. Okay, I'm going there. I'm getting there. Sorry, guys. Oh, where'd that thunder come from? Okay. Okay, I've closed. Sorry, guys. When you have to close off a million screens. Okay, got that one there. I'm coming back, I promise. Normally during this time, my kids would be like having a party, but you are very well behaved students. Thank you. Okay, so I think this will work now. Maybe not. Oh, this is why I wanted Zoom. I do find Zoom a lot easier.
Something's happening.
Okay, you ready? So you should see me and the song. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, you can
Okay,
see
so
both.
me. Excellent. And cities. So following along. No, we've got shaking heads there.
It's just the folder right now.
Music, Tracy.
What was that? We couldn't hear the music again?
Yeah, you've just opened the folder, not the actual player.
File.
Okay, no trouble. This is going to be
also
challenging.
need to pin Tracey.
Yeah,
Yes.
every time she shares the screen. So
yeah, it's really hard. We tried working this for about 2 hours the other day to try and get this to work. Okay, we're going to try again. Let's go.
But no matter how far.
Okay. Okay, can we see both? Can we hear?
I've been to cities that never close down. From New York to Rio and old London town. But no matter how far or how wide I roam, I still call Australia home.
That's it. You guys are doing really well. That's it. Now don't look so nervous.
I'm always traveling. I love being free. And so I keep leaving the sun and the sea. But my heart lies waiting over the phone. I still call Australia home. All the sons and daughters spinning around the world, away from their families and friends. But as the world gets older and colder, it's good to know where your journey ends. Someday we'll all
be together once more. When all of the ships come back to the shore, I realize something I've always known. I still call Australia home.
Fantastic stuff there, but I'm going to stop sharing up here.
And we're going to have to stop sharing in general.
We are, because I just looked at that time. I can't. Can
Yes.
someone stop sharing for me? Excellent. Hopefully
That's okay.
someone's.
Yes.
Oh, I think they have. So excellent. You guys just learned a whole song in 40 minutes. Yay! Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's okay.
That was fantastic, Tracey. We really enjoyed it.
Oh, you're welcome. My kids enjoy it, and I just encourage you to just try and do it with whatever group, and it's the quickest way to learn a song.
Brilliant. Thank you for the session, and thank you too, Emily, for a very interesting afternoon.
Thanks.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.